All right, we are recording. Good to see you all. Welcome to your practice. And good to know that some of us are here, even though we can't see them. Please take a comfortable seat and we'll start with some breathing. All right. So, sitting up well, and just sort of soften your chest down a little bit, giving the mid back a little bit of a rounding. And try to breathe into the back so the chest remains soft. Maybe the belly expands, but you're trying to breathe low and into your back. It's a great way to sort of calm us, settle us before our practice. You can let the forehead fall a little bit forward, just to sort of invite that almost introverted sort of energy, right? This turning inward energy. In yoga sutras, they call it pratyahara, to turn inward. And so you close your eyes, soften the features of your face. Breathe in and out through your nose. And feel the back, feel the lungs opening into the back body. Just experience and witness a few deep breaths in this way. You're going to take your left wrist over to the right knee and slightly bend that elbow. So as you bend that elbow, it's almost like you're widening the back of your left ribs and left shoulder. Just take a breath into that space. Okay, let's do the other side. You're going to take the right hand to the left. You're going to bend the elbow slightly. That bending the elbow away from your body should open up the back of the right rib and widen the right shoulder. And then breathe into that space that you've made. Come back to center. Push down on your thighs or push down on your knees a little bit. And try to lengthen through the back of your spine and the back of your skull. Feel like you're drawing out that space you made with your breath. Take a deep breath here. Good. And then just soften back down. Let your forehead grow a little heavy and the chest grow a little soft. Let's take a couple more, about 3 deep breaths into that back kidney area. If you're not familiar with where the kidneys are, just put your hand across your mid back, right where your ribs stop and your low back starts. That's the kidney area. Just making a little bit of space there with our breathing. Apologize if you can hear the sound of the rain on my roof. It's distracting. Maybe Zoom will silence it for us. Then you're going to take that left wrist over to the right again. We're going to do the same exact opening sequence we just did. Bend the left elbow away from the body. Use that to make space on the left side rib, left shoulder blade, and breathe into that space. Good. Repeat to the second side. Don't forget to bend the elbow away from the body to open that backside rib. Come back to center. Push the hands down the thighs or down the knees. Lift up through the back of your spine and the back of your skull so your belly gets long and slightly drawn in. Breathe. Now you might lengthen up through the lungs as you inhale. And relax it again. Let's do that one more round. Soften the chest. Forehead can maybe drop a little bit forward. And take 3 quiet breaths into the back body. Take the left wrist to the right hand. Gently bend the elbow. I'm sorry, to the left hand to the right knee, and bend the elbow away from you, opening that backside rib. Same thing. To lengthen even that space on the top of the shoulder, the distance from your ear to your shoulder should grow. Good. Second side. Good. Back to center. Last round. Pushing down through the hands, onto the thighs, or onto the knees. Lengthen through the back of your spine and the back of your skull. Allow that to hug the belly muscles in, and breathe up through the lungs. Growing tall. Excellent. Relax. We're going to rock on forward to hands and knees posture. You're going to push down through your hands and lift up through your ribs. Breathe into that space. Turning inward. Forehead kind of hang like a bowling ball. Try to release your neck from your shoulders. Almost like keeping your arms straight, but try not to let your head hang like you're just trying to find the floor. Good. Open the chin, open the tail, lengthen through the front of your spine by lengthening the belly muscles. Let's do that again. Push down through the mat, down through the legs, lift the ribs up high. Forehead hang like a bowling ball. Good. Open. Go ahead, step the left leg out to the left and just sort of sink your weight towards that left foot, opening that hip, that inner thigh. And then step it back. Go ahead, step the right foot out wide and sink the weight over towards it, opening up that inner thigh. And then step it back. Step back through the left leg. You can turn the toe out, opening up that outer hip as you push back. And then come forward. Step back with the right foot, turning the toes out, push back through your hips, kind of stretching that outer calf muscle, outer hip. And then step back. Now you're going to take your left leg over to the right, So it's opening that front of the hip, outer hip, open that side body and look to the right. Breathe here. And step it back. Let's do the same thing, other side. Take the right foot over to the left, look to the left, open that hip. Come back to center. Carefully now taking the left knee, pull it forward like you're trying to give your knee a kiss. You don't have to succeed at that. And then place it back down. Let's repeat, other side. Pull the right knee like you're trying to give it a kiss. And then put it back down. Let's do that a couple more times, warming up the hip flexor. Pull it forward, up off the ground, and then place back down. Pull it forward like you're going to give it a kiss. And back down. 2 more times each side. Exhaling as you draw the knee in. Last set. All the air out with each movement. Excellent. Let's sink our hips back, extending our arms out in front. Try to hang our head, hang our chest towards the floor. You can get your forehead to the floor, gently rock it side to side, loosening up the neck and spine. And if you still want to flip the exercise and can't get your head to the floor, you can put a block underneath. Bring the floor up to you. Good. Inhale, come all the way forward. Let's go ahead and lay on our belly. Bring the elbows under the shoulders and push down through the forearm. As you push down to the floor and start to hang your head, dropping and opening up and sort of releasing the top of the shoulders, melting the spine between the shoulder blades. Just receive a few breaths here. Lengthen the back of the neck, lengthen the traps. That's the muscles that sort of go like a diamond shape to connect your neck, your shoulders to your mid back. Good. Go ahead, slide your left hand out as far as you can reach it in front of you. And turn your gaze to the right. Now walk your left hand over to the right so the arm goes under the head. So it's almost like you're resting on your left arm. You are resting on your left arm. And keep walking that hand. Good. Keep walking that hand. So it's like almost maybe now like a clock hand, and your left arm is pointing straight out where your right arm would be. Good. Let's keep the hips relaxed here. And now start to roll your body onto the right side. So you're really getting a strong stretch across that shoulder. Yeah, you got it. Good. So you should be stretching the left shoulder. You can turn your gaze the other way now, to the left. Good. Let's come back to center. When you're ready, you're going to walk your right hand straight out, as far forward as it'll go, as long as you can get it. And you're going to turn your head to your left. And then start to just slowly, like a clock hand, walk the right hand to the left so your head is on top of your arm. And just keep going nice and slow until you get to maybe whatever, like 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, whatever you want to think of it. Good. You're going to sort of turn your gaze slowly, roll your body onto the left side, opening that outer shoulder. Come back to center. Squeeze now the shoulders onto the back, placing the hand under the shoulders, and now squeeze and lift your chest and head up a little bit so you're kind of toning all that musculature that you just lengthened. Really hugging into the spine with the muscles of the shoulders. Breathing here. 2 more deep breaths. Good. Let's push up. Maybe straighten the arms before pushing back. Tabletop. Coming back to tabletop. We're going to try those hip flexor warm-ups again. You're going to take your left knee, you're going to pull it now to the left elbow and then place it back. Then you're going to take your right knee to right elbow and place it back. Let's do that 2 more times each side. Left to left elbow. Exhale. And then exhale right to right elbow. 1 more time each side. To finish our warm up here, you're going to take your left knee to the right, maybe touching the right elbow, and back. Right knee goes to the left and back. Last round. Use the muscles of the core, opening up the back body. Last round. Good. Let's do downward facing dog now. 5 deep breaths. And keep your knees a little bent today. Walk your feet a little forward today. Think about maybe resting the belly muscles towards the thighs a little more than usual.
Press back with your hands till your feet become flat on the floor. Just hang your body. Again, bend your knees as much as you can so you can rest the belly muscles on the thighs. And then roll up, pushing down through the feet. Excellent. Let's come to the front of our mat. We're going to turn our palms to face forward. Extend out, wing the fingertips back. And gently pull back, toning the muscles of the back body. But what we're going to do is you're going to step your feet about shoulders distance apart. You're going to keep the arms active. Keep the arms active. And as we exhale, we're going to bend our knees, press our hands together, and reach forward. So we're opening up our back body, almost making our back body like a parachute. Then we inhale, come back, lengthen, pull the arms back. Don't let the chest rise too much. Try to stretch across the chest by toning the shoulders. And then exhale, press the palms, reach them forward. Inhale, upright, 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 toning the back muscles. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Tone the muscles. Exhale. Good. Lift the arms overhead. Extend the legs long. Exhale. Slide the hands down the legs. Inhale. Flatten the back. Toning the back body. Exhale. Release the spine. And then roll up through center. Press the palms together. Reach up. Exhale. Send the hands down the legs. Inhale, flat back. Use your back muscles, lifting up, parallel. Exhale, release. Inhale, all the way up. Hands to your heart. Inhale, up. Exhale, bow. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. If you have blocks, please find those blocks. Put your hand on top of them. And step the right foot back. You can pivot the foot a little bit so the whole foot is flat and sink down through that foot. As you sink down through that foot, bend through your front knee. Breathe here. Keep pushing down your hands. Keep pushing your hands down through the blocks to lift your core. 2 more deep breaths. And let's step that leg forward. Go ahead, step your left foot back, pivot the heel in so the foot is flat on the floor. Keeping that foot flat on the floor, anchored in, bend through your front knee. As you bend through the front knee, continue to push down through your blocks to lift up through the back muscles, back body. Good. Step it forward to the front of your mat. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Try just, it's going to be a quick movement. You're not going to need, I don't think you'll need a wall, because you can just keep the toe on the ground if you want the whole time. You're going to inhale, pull your knee up towards your chest or towards your nose, and then in one motion, step it back to warrior one. Lift your arms up high. And then exhale, warrior two. And then take your arms all the way back to those blocks and step forward again. Inhale, come up. Let's inhale, bring our right knee up with it. And then exhale, step it back, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. And then windmill the hands down to those blocks. Find that pose before stepping forward. Inhale, come up. Bring up the left knee as high as it'll go. Tuck your chin. Step it back. Warrior one. Warrior two. Windmill. Step forward. Inhale, come up. Let's bring up our right knee with us. Slow, clean movements. Back, warrior one. Warrior two. Keep breathing. Windmill. Front of the mat. Inhale, come up. Bring up the left knee. Step it back. Clean, expansive movement. One motion. Warrior two. After that, warrior one. I'm sorry. Place the hands front of the mat. Step it forward. Inhale, come up. Bring up the right knee. Exhale back, warrior one. Open up, warrior two. Place the hands. Step it forward. Last round, inhale, come up. Left knee. Exhale back, warrior one. Open out, warrior two. Step it forward. Inhale, come up. Bring up the right knee. Step it back, warrior one. Warrior two. Place the hands. Step it forward. Inhale, come up, and just pause and feel. Breathe deep here. Breathe deep here. Long exhales to complement the long inhale. Close your eyes and start to soften the chest. Turn inward. Good. Go ahead and grab your right arm and pull it across your body. Turn and look over your right shoulder. Good. Swing that arm down like it was an elephant trunk, opening up your back. And then inhale back to center. Take your left arm across the body. Turn your gaze to the left. Elephant trunk, rounding the upper back. Rising up. One more time. Right arm across the body. Turn your gaze to the right. Elephant trunk. Open back up. Left arm across the body. Turn your gaze to the left. Elephant trunk. Open back up. Good. Now reach up high. Let's pivot our feet so our toes cover the edge of our mat, so they're slightly turned out. And you're going to pull down with your arms. When you pull down with your arms, pull back with your arms. So you're toning the muscles onto the space that you just made. You opened up the back, and now you tone the muscles onto the space that you just made. Bend your knees as you do it. Inhale, come back up. Let's touch our hands together above our heads. And so we squat down as we pull down, keeping our chest open here. We're not rounding. We're sort of working within the space we just made. Using those back muscles. Really try to pinch those elbows back behind you. Inhale up. Exhale. Pinch those elbows back behind you. You can let your heels hover off the ground. Go a little deeper if you want. Inhale back up. Two more. Exhale down. Inhale back up. Exhale down. Try to create a little bit of resistance by toning your hands. Good. Square the feet. Put your hands back on those blocks. Just rock your hips side to side. So your feet are about max distance apart, a little wider. Rock side to side. Get an inner thigh hamstring stretch.
Good. Go ahead, step your right foot back. So your right foot's on the right edge of your mat, left foot is on the left edge of your mat. Let's turn those blocks to a lower setting or get a little lower. If this is easy for you, maybe bend your elbows. Just work on getting your body lower, sort of hanging your head. And then push down through your feet. Push down through your hands. Open up that back again. Turn the right block onto its lowest setting, or just bring your hand all the way to the floor. You can lift up your right heel and let's turn and open our left arm to the sky. Big, wide, twisted, low lunge. If you want, you're going to take your top hand, your left hand, fold it behind your back. You can rest it on your kidneys and lean back into that arm. Breathe here. And bend your front knee deeply. Good. When you're ready, you're going to step forward, back to a wide stance on the narrow width of the mat, hands on blocks, and just rock side to side. You can put your hands on the ledge, put your hands on your knees too, that works. When you're ready, you're going to slide the left foot back along the left edge of your mat. Bring the blocks a little bit back so you can push down on them, push down with your legs, sort of hood your back a little bit. Breathe into that space. As you've made that space, keep your feet firm. You can turn that back heel up. You're going to put your left hand down on the floor on a low setting, and then open your right arm up into a twisted lunge. And through the front knee a little bit deeper. You can take that top arm behind your back, resting on the kidneys, and lean back into it. Good. Let's press back to a plank pose. Breathe here. Push down with the balls of the feet. Push down with the palm of the hand to fill the back. Tone the core. Bring your shoulders a little more forward. Bring your shoulders a little more forward, as long as it's not over-exacerbating the wrist. Just find that edge. You're going to slowly just lower one knee. See if you can touch the ground, and then bring it back up to your plank. You can stay with me here. Keep the other feet wide apart. Bend the other knee. See if you can touch the floor, and then bring it back up. Don't let your low back collapse. Last round. Bend the knee. Don't let your low back collapse. Good. Back up. Last round. And back up. Excellent. Let's come down to our knees. Feet towards each other. And sit back. Rest. Good work. Just breathe here. Turn inward. Got a block nearby. You're going to put a block in between your two hands. Put your elbows about shoulders width apart. Bring your knees in, your feet out, and just start to melt your heart through your shoulder blades. Good. Walk the knees in and back a little bit, and push down with your elbows, down with your knees, so your back lifts some. Hold it and breathe. You tuck your toes or point them. You want to take your knees back even further. Go right ahead. Keep breathing. Keep the shoulders over the elbows. Fill in the back body. Excellent. Look at down at the block, kind of down between your forearms. Let's go ahead and drop our pelvis into the floor. Pull with your elbows. Try to energetically pull the mat back. Bringing the heart forward. Bringing the gaze up to look like a sphinx. Keeping those shoulder blades toning, that pulling back action with the elbows and the arms should feel like you're wrapping your outer shoulder muscles in toward the spine. Good. Take the block that you're holding, slide it out along the floor as you slowly lower your body down. Keep reaching that block, holding the sides of it. We're going to try to lift it 3 times. You're going to squeeze that block. Keep your elbows straight. Inhale, lift it up as high as it'll go. And bring it down. 2 more like that. Inhale, high as it'll go. And bring it down. Last round. Inhale, up. Exhale, release it. Turn your cheek to one side and rest. Bring inward gives us focus. Squeeze that block, stretch it out in front, reach the toes back behind you. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Squeeze, elbow straight, inhale, up. Exhale, down. Last round, inhale, up. Exhale, down, turn your cheek the other side. Good, place that block off to the side. Place your hands underneath your shoulders and inhale, curl up, and then back to a downward facing dog pose. Go ahead today, bend your knees a little more than usual. Make it a little shorter than usual. Maybe rest in the belly closer or even onto the thigh. Hands back a little bit so the heels become flat on the ground. Walk the hands all the way back to a forward fold. Inhale, roll on up. Excellent. Place the left hand on the skull. Let the head drop off to the left. Take the right hand out to the right, point the thumb down. And then take the back of the hand against the kidneys. Good. Release your left hand and look down at it. And then roll your head to center as you come back up. Let's take the right hand onto the skull. Drip the head over to the right. Take the left arm out, point the thumb down. And then gently press the back of the left hand against the kidneys. Release the right hand, look down at it. Roll the head down the center. And then back up. Good. Inhale, lift your shoulders up and squeeze them firmly onto your back. Bend your elbows slightly, rolling the shoulders tone onto the body. Good. Bring the legs closer together. Start to tone the legs as you tone your back body. How do you tone the legs? Kind of tone your kneecaps, lift your quads. Get a little bit of tension through the muscles and even tone. Good. You're going to bend your knees. You're going to gently step your right toe back. Keep your right toe on the ground. If you'd like, you can lift it off the ground and then slide your hands out like you're giving someone a tray of food who is too far away from you. Use your core, use your fullness. As you reach your arms forward, you can pull your leg up into the air behind you for balance. And then bring the hands back to the body as you come back up.
Good, so we are working on balancing today. Don't use the wall. See what you can do. It's okay to keep your back toe on the ground the whole time. Bring the legs a little closer together. Pull the elbows back with the shoulders to engage the back muscles. As you do that, tone your legs. Tone your legs. Keep that tone. Draw the left toe back as far as it'll go while touching the floor. In one motion, you're going to offer this tray forward, a little too far away, as your leg kind of counterweights and lifts up behind you, maybe. Using your core, as you stretch those hands forward, that's going to tone the core. And then bring it back in to come up. Whew, good work, working really hard, excellent job. Legs close together, tone the shoulders, tone the legs. Breathe here. Draw the right toe back. Exhale, reaching, extending forward, nice and slow. Try to keep those palms up as long as you can. Reaching back, same equal energy. At the end, they can turn to face each other and come back up. One more time, second side. Tone the shoulders, tone the legs. Pull the left toe back and reach. Or offer, you're offering this tray. Inhale back up. Good, inhale, stretch your arms up high to the sky. Exhale, bow forward fold, kind of hang your spine, release your back. Inhale, roll back up. Step your right leg back. Listen carefully. You can actually put your hands on your hips to start. You might change the length and the width of your feet. Explore, see what feels good on your hips today. Push down through your feet and tone your legs so that both feet are very solidly on the floor. And now start to rotate the pelvis. Rotate by drawing the outer left hip back and the right hip point forward. So you feel some engagement, almost like you're trying to open a jelly jar with your feet on the mat. You can feel them spiraling into the mat. You can feel the feet spiral into the mat. Keep that planted sensation happening as you twist. You don't want to take your hips past parallel. If you can twist your hips past parallel with the short front edge of your mat, take a longer stance. Okay, once we get to parallel, let's see everyone get somewhere near that. Now you're going to start to bow forward, and you can rest your hands on your low back, on your pelvis, the back of your hands. Rest on the low back or on the pelvis. And it's like you're dripping your nose towards your front knee. Remember to keep that front hip pulling back and the back hip pulling forward to create stability and focus. Press down through your heels to wind up. And let's step out of the pose. Good work. Great challenging pose there. You're going to step your left foot back any amount. You can change it to go wider or longer. Pressing down to the feet, tone your legs, and then go ahead and start to turn your hips. You can, again, change your stance so that you've pulled the front hip back, especially that outer part of it, and you turn the outer part of the back hip forward. The right hip back, left hip forward. You want to keep this spiraling feeling happening in your feet as though they're rooting into the floor. Once you create that stability and tone, supportive joint feeling in your legs, rest the backs of your hands against your low back or against your pant line, wherever your pant hem is, not what hem, waistband is, and start to bow forward, dripping the nose toward the knee.
Keep breathing, keep working deeper into the posture, holding that focus, that inner focus on these alignment cues, these inner sensations. Good. Press down through your heels to come up and step forward. Excellent work. Let's do it again. Step the right leg back. Any width, any length, so that you could keep your legs toned and stable and rotate the hips to the front edge of your mat, squared. Want to keep that active feeling, almost like your outer left leg was drawing back and your outer right hip and leg was turning forward. Press down, find stability, and then bow into the pose, keeping those legs rotating energetically. Breathe. Inhale back up and step out of the pose. Left leg back, last round. Same thing, work the cues, tone the feet, tone the legs, rotate your hips. Create that muscular stability and engagement. That's that. You're turning inward because you're becoming very focused on one internal embodiment mechanic. And you're using that focus to deepen the pose as you bow. Inhale, come up. Step out of your posture. Good. Let's go ahead. Once again, take your feet as wide as the mat. Have the outer edges of your feet cover that. Let your forehead grow heavy, so the back of your neck grows long. Take the hands to the low back behind you. You can hold your elbows or hold your forearms. And gently start to bow forward. Feel that the low back gently presses up against the forearms. Breathe into this. Good. Release the hands down into the mat. Press down with your hands either into blocks or into the floor. Really put as much weight into your hands as you can here. Practice expanding the breath into your back body. 2 more like that. Where can you expand the breath into the back body? Good. Walk the feet back. Keep them as wide as the mat. A little bit longer, almost like a wide-legged down dog. And breathe. Where can you breathe? Into the back body. Coming down to your knees. Open the chest. Cow pose. Good. Walk the knees back. Let's line our bellies once more. We're going to practice a true cobra pose. True cobra pose. Cobra pose is to think of the hood of a cobra. They don't kink their neck. They don't bend the back of their neck. In this version, you're going to keep the back of your neck long. You're never going to lift your chin.
The first round, you're gonna think about actually keeping your forehead glued to the floor while trying to lift up your shoulders as high as you can.
So glue your forehead to the floor to like an imaginary blanket or block. And now try to lift up with your back muscles. It might actually tuck your chin in. You might pull your forehead even more under. Feel those muscles fire of your core and of your shoulders. This is a cobra. Cobras don't use their hands, they don't have any. And then release it back out.
Let's do that one more time. You're gonna use your shoulder and back and core muscles to lift up. There's no need for arms. Your forehead's like basically glued to the floor. If anything, it tucks under a little more. Don't even think about your head, really. Good.
Now we're gonna add the hands in. Come back down, last round. You're gonna lift up as high as you can first, and then use your arms, but don't lift your neck. Just push with your hands. So you're still kind of looking down at the floor. This is a cobra's hood in the back of your neck. Breathe into that space you've made. Lower back down to the earth. We do one more round like that, another chance to practice. Breathe deep. Fill in the low body. Okay, use your back muscles. The forehead like a bowling ball. Don't use your neck. If anything, the chin is tucked under. Lift up the shoulders, lift up the mid-back. Use your core. Now add the hand, but don't bother with your neck. Don't lift your gaze. Squeeze those shoulders in and down onto your back. Fill your back into the back plane. Exhale, lower down. Good.
You can press back into a downward dog or into a dolphin posture. Dolphin posture is down dog, but on your forearms. You can keep your knees very bent today and walk the feet in a little bit so your belly is closer to your thighs. Lower those knees just above the ground, and then touch them to the ground. Then you're going to walk your hands back and come up into a standing posture. Good job.
Good job. You're going to hold your elbows above your head. Try to pull your elbows apart, but your hands are there, so they stay together. And now reach your elbows up and back behind you, any amount, keeping the forehead heavy. Now listen to your neck, listen to your shoulders. If it feels good to your body, turn and look to the one direction. And then turn and look the other direction. Come back to center and bring the arms down. Look at your arms, notice which one's in front, and then change it. You might not be able to do this. It is very difficult on the mind sometimes. It's lift those arms back up. It's okay if you don't get them over your head, that's fine. Lift them up as high as they'll go, pull them apart, pull them back. And then turn your gaze. It's okay to have them out in front of you too. Don't worry about it, they can be up in front. Turn the other direction. And release down. Keep giving yourself a hug Broaden the upper back a little bit here. And then release the arms down. Good. If you want to use the wall now, you can use the wall out in front with your two hands. You're going to take your left knee over the right knee. So you're stacking your knees, your hands are on the wall in front of you. And you're going to bend your knees and try to squeeze the knees together as much as you can. As you squeeze the knees together, listen carefully, you're going to pull the left hip back, even as the left knee, so the left knee is trying to come over, right? But you're also pulling the left hip back at the same time. And then come out of that pose. Hands on the wall, right knee on top. You're going to try to take that right knee across, but you're also going to pull the right hip back at the same time to keep the hips square. Here we go. Sitting down. Inhale up and relax. Very, very good. Let's step our feet apart and slowly bend our knees down for a swap. Rock side to side if you like. Breathe into the back. Turn inward. Come down onto the knees. Separate the feet. And sit onto a block. Rest the hands in the lap. Let the forehead grow a little heavy. Let the chest sink down. And breathe into the low lungs, the low back of your lungs. Keep breathing, turning inward. And you start to focus on a low, soft breath deep into the back of your lungs. Rolling forward. Cross your ankles and sit back. Go ahead and put your legs out in front of you. You take your right hand off to the right and then rock onto your right hip. When you've rocked onto the right hip, you can bend your left knee, bringing that foot back near the opposite edge of the mat. Now what you'll do is you'll start to shift your weight back to the left. Some of you might get your left sit bone back to the floor. That's great. And your foot will be on the outside of your hip. If not, just keep sinking. If you get your hips back to the earth, you can start to bow forward towards your knees. But only start bowing forward if both sit bones have body weight. Mine's still off the ground. So I'm just working on settling my hip and my thigh. Good. Let's all lean back to our right so we have space to open our knee. Then we're going to lean off to our left and roll onto our left. So we can have room to pull the right foot back, bending the right knee. Same thing, second side. Sinking the weight, not forcing it, not even pushing, just letting gravity do the talking. Seeing if that right sit bone can come back to the earth. If it does, you can start bowing forward. Still concentrating on turning inward and inner listening to the body and inner awareness to our low, soft breath. Shift your weight back over to the left side, left hand, so you have space to open the knee. And then come out of the pose. Bring the soles of the feet together. And gently lean the forehead forward, opening up your back. Pull your elbows wide apart over the knees, opening up your back. And breathe into the space you've made. Rise up and bring the knees up. Push your back down into the floor, segment by segment. Push your palms down and your arms down into the floor, next to your body. Gently open the back of your neck and lift your hips up high to the sky. Breathe as you stretch the back of the neck and the back of the shoulders away from your ears. Exhale down. Inhale up. On the next exhale, come down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And bring your left knee into the body, pressing the thigh towards the belly muscle. Second side. Take both knees up and towards the body. Gently curl the forehead up towards the knees. And then slowly lower the legs down. Let's take a final twist to your right, taking one knee or both knees to the right. Keep the both shoulders down if you can. Otherwise, it's not really a twist, it's just a roll. And we'll take both knees to the other side, or one knee to the other side, just second side, I should have said. We'll come back to center. Slide the legs out long. Gently squeeze them together. And you can squeeze the arms against the sides of your body. As you squeeze, sink, soften your chest and your belly down into the back. Take a deep breath here. And relax, letting the toes fall open, palms fall open. Maybe give yourself a little more space, widening the legs or arms. Maybe lift or lower the chin to make space in the front and back of your throat. And then rest. Stretch your body. Take a comfortable seat on your mat. Namaste.